guys, and welcome to today's Coffee and Christ. Hey, you hear that back there? Yes, we're outside.
Outdoors.
It is glorious. It is fantastic to be outside. It's wonderful.
It is.
This is what Michigan should be like all the time. No snow, no nothing, just this all the time. It'd be
I
great.
like snow.
I do too, but it can stay someplace else. This is great. Anyways, today is show and tell.
Show and tell day.
Show and tell, because last Sunday was Father's Day, and this was my Father's Day gift. Isn't this glorious? It is so very pretty. There you go. You can see it. It is great.
It is really awesome.
It's kind of cool. My son made this for me, and I just thought I'd share it with you guys.
Yeah.
It's funny how we view things differently based upon fatherhood, if you will. There was a point in time whenever this would have looked like a conglomeration to me. But because of that little name right there, and because I know the heart of the individual with the little name right there, this thing is priceless to me. I'm sure it's not worth all that much on the market, but to me, it's essentially priceless. You know, the heart matters. The heart's essential. It's easy for us to get trapped into the idea of the do's and the don'ts associated with Christianity, especially the don'ts. If we're real honest with ourselves, we've all fallen into the trap of, well, I'm not as bad as so-and-so, or at least I didn't, you fill in the blank.
Right.
It's easy for us to focus in on Christianity and view it as a checklist of things to do and things to not do. But what God really wants is our heart. If we go to the Sermon on the Mount, we see several instances where Jesus says, you have heard that it was said, but I say to you. You know, the idea of, if you even get angry with your brother, if you even have a lustful thought or look lustfully at a woman, you've already committed murder, you've already committed lust within your heart.
Yeah.
Because what God wants, what God's after, is our heart. He's looking for something deeper than just simply this checklist of do's and don'ts.
We can get trapped, can't we, into that idea of, well, I prayed.
Yeah.
Well, I took the Lord's Supper. Well, I showed up to worship.
And all those things are good.
But
the question is, why did we do it? You see, God created this checklist, if you will, to lead us to a heart transfer, to lead us to a change in our hearts. And if our hearts aren't changed, then all we're really doing is just this checklist.
yeah,
See, what God really wants is He wants to take our hearts. He wants our pictures, if you will. He wants our hearts that are maybe not quite 100% to scale, that are kind of messed up, that have little flaws in them. But He wants our hearts. And He takes those hearts and He gives it back to us whole. It's crazy how God does that. We can never outgive God. He takes our hearts that we choose to give and He transforms them and gives us back to them whole. And inevitably what we find are the things that we tried to pursue, the prestige and all the different things we tried to fill our hearts with. When we choose to give our heart to God, when we choose to give Him our heart, even though it's broken and even though it has flaws, we end up finding exactly what we were looking for the whole time, because He gives it back to us whole.
yeah. Hey, can you hold up that picture again?
Yeah, that's a pretty great picture.
What did you say was the most important part of that whole picture?
The name, the heart of the person whose signature is at the bottom.
And where does Jesus want to sign?
Christ wants to sign on your heart,
But only if we...
only if we choose to give it to Him.
Amen.
So the question today is, are you going to give Christ your heart? And everything you do, even with the things that could be viewed as a checklist, ask yourself, why am I doing this? How is this helping to transform my heart? Choose to give your heart to God and watch what He does with it.
Amen.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and give you peace.